guys, but
as well. Now mid one in a lot of trouble as they're healing back up from the ransack. They're not doing enough damage. Isn't quite enough. They can't even kill him off once. Hand of God comes out. Secret is getting completely run over.
Balls are online.
Are you kidding me? For the opening side, making the play. It's a pretty good one with the Winter Wyvern ulti to interrupt. The ghost ship gonna land, stolen from Yapzor. Everybody from Secret playing their absolute hearts out, and they're able to make it happen. It's only on a curl, but now Miracle may be going down as well. They pop the BKB for mid one, still looking for the chase. They take down side. He buys back. Buyback coming also from Mind Control. Weehaw under fire. Maybe the crowd feeling a little bit of a sign of life if they can make it happen. But Weehaw, he gets the cheese off, able to run away afterwards. The stun is gonna come out in just a moment. They find themselves this ET. The boat's gonna land. Now, what more do you have left in the tank? Is the bristleback is gone.
He won't let them have it.
You feel it, ladies and gentlemen. They're trying to pull Miracle into the fountain, do whatever at all possible. But Miracle, he smells it. He wants to go on. He wants to play further in this tournament, and the action is falling as Liquid again are going to knock Secret out of TI.
There we go then. Day number 5 in the history books. What a day of ups and downs. The extremes, gents. That's partly what I love, but also hate about the day is the real extremes of emotion, that exaltation from OG and Liquid especially, Cap. I mean, they're not normally like that. They're quite calm normally, but they went bonkers in there yesterday. It means a lot to them.
I remember Blitz told me during the group stage, in the middle of the group stage, after Liquid had already had that rough day 1 or 2, he said Liquid is either going to be a bottom 4 team or a top 4 team. Right. And I think Liquid felt that too. Being in the lower bracket, having to go into the best of ones, they had to ride the harshest of storms, right? They had to ride that entire thing out. Now they've made it all the way until the final day. Just incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. No team, for those of you relatively new to the international, no team has ever gone from round 1 of the lower bracket all the way to the grand final. It's never been done. In fact, Liquid now hold the record for the furthest, actually. They're now a guaranteed top 3 spot. No team had been past 4th before that. Fnatic and Vici, Grant, were the only 2 that did it back in 15-16. That's an incredible achievement already, but there's still more potential.
Yeah, there is, and it's crazy, right? Like everyone's talking about OG's most dominant team here, but technically on the main stage, Liquid hasn't lost a game. They are 9-0, which is crazy because they are in the loser bracket, but they haven't lost. Yeah, there is, and it's crazy, right? Like everyone's talking about OG's most dominant.
It also means that there's another stat that came up yesterday, Gods, which I hate to bring it up almost because it's a bit like, oh. First to 200 games played at the International. Puppy had a chance yesterday. If it went to 3 games, he would have been the first. He ends on 199 from yesterday, just to add a bit more salt into the wound.
So close.
Kuro is on 198 right now. So there you go. He's on 198, which means he will become the first player ever to record 200 games played at the International in the second game of today. That's incredible. Both of them are incredible players, legacy players, played at all 9 TIs. It's been such a story following them this year, Grant.
Yeah, it has. I mean, they, as you said, all 9 of the tournaments, they've been through Dota 1 as well. Probably the earliest pro players almost in Dota itself, besides maybe some of the people in the Chinese scene. And it's crazy watching them go forward. And who knows, TI10 next year, we might be seeing them again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll be back once more. There was a nice hug at the end of that. It was a kind of mutual appreciation, admiration, respect.
Yeah, I love the way they sat down with KC2 for their interview where they acknowledged things weren't always the greatest between them in the past, but they've kind of moved on and they are good friends now. You know, Kuro was at Puppy's wedding, and they're 2 players who have a ton of respect for each other. They're as close as you can be when you're competing against each other, and it's great to see them here at TI year after year.
Disappointing for Vici yesterday, as well as Secret. I mean, Secret top 4 is their best ever at TI, which sounds incredible when you think of a quality team like Secret. But Vici, that was massively disappointing for them yesterday.
Especially the way they went out. The last few teams that have gone out of this tournament, it has just felt like a rough way that they've gone the road. It's just been, like some of these picks that we're really seeing the meta in full stage. Certain things like Alchemist, like you just can't really give this up to some of these teams. And you know, Vici Gaming, they were my favorites for this tournament. I thought we were going to see a fresh, young team come into this, take TI by storm, and claim the Aegis for themselves. You know, similar to a little bit of callback to Wings in a way,
Right.
just being able to come in and surprise all the veterans. But sadly, not the case.
It just shows, though, doesn't it, gents, that actually this year, more than any year, it feels like experience counts this year. Like, we've been there, we know what an upper bracket final looks like, we know what a grand final looks like, we know how to get there. Because how do you end up with the same two teams in the upper bracket final, neither of which have performed during the regular season? That doesn't make any sense, unless there's something that you need to tap into when you come to the international.
It feels like some of the veteran teams have finally figured out a bit better how to approach TI. At least a few of them, not all.
Yeah.
You have teams like VP, maybe to a lesser extent Secret, who still sometimes stumble when it comes to TI. But LGD, OG, same two teams here. Their approach to TI, their general team atmosphere, philosophy, the positivity that they kind of have going on amongst them is something that you need at TI.
Yeah, and Liquid, I think we include them in there as well. I know they've been up on their ups and downs this year. They've probably had their most tumultuous season for, 4 years maybe, Grant?
Yeah.
And changing a player for the first time in 3 years as well. So they've had their ups and downs, but that seems to be coming together at the right time too.
It does, and I mean, it shows, right? A lot of people are like, I can't believe you got rid of Matu. All this happens, but know who knows best for a team? The team itself, right? And they pulled in this pure middle player in Weeha, a player that people just didn't really think was that great, and they bring him in and he's showing off, right? You get that one chance, and he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he is. Let's talk standout players. Well, we've got the opportunity to. Cap, who stood out the most?
I mean, I'll just add that to Weeha, right? The fact that I love the way they put that in the interview, which was, he's just a piece of a puzzle. The team as a whole is the ultimate puzzle, and Weeha just managed to fit the piece. He was the perfect piece to complete it for Liquid this year. He added the right kind of hero depth to them, and he's been performing absolutely fantastic here on the playoffs. This guy just doesn't really seem to choke.
All right. Well, we're going to see who comes out on top today. It's going to be a fascinating road. I'm sure we're going to all enjoy it together, of course, with our other broadcast members of the team who are usually out doing something or other in the arena or with fans. So let's check in with Casey and Slacks and find out what they're up to.
Welcome to the Mercedes-Benz Arena. We wanted to give you a tour of what it looks like outside so you could feel like you're here with us.
Yes, there are lots to see in the arena and in the surrounding area. But we thought the quickest way to do it would be on these 6 scoots, boy.
Yeah!
Heck yeah!
Let's do it. All right.
1999, we're back!
Come on, Byron, follow us. Wait, no, wait. Jerk. Watch out, everybody! Ta-da!
Watch this, Casey. Yeah, there's Shanghai.
See the cityscape a little bit.
If you don't mind, I'm going to go steal somebody's bag with my scooter.
No, please don't. Come on,
All right, we're starting to get some of that beautiful Shanghai rain. Lovely, lovely. So why don't we head inside and give everybody a backstage tour? Bye! Bye! On the way.
Here we are inside. Oh, geez, excuse you. All right, so these are the lovely corridors inside, and we're actually right outside of the main stage. This is the interview room where all the magic happens.
Look out!
This is the control room. This is literally where all the magic happens. See all those screens? Look at all that.
Wow, buttons!
Intrepid editor Phil is up too. Hey, Phil, what you working on?
Well, I'm trying to get all your stuff together for your scooter piece.
Think you can put something together with what we have?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. Absolutely.
Can you make us look good?
I don't know. That's tough, but we're gonna give it a shot.
Phil, make me look sexy in just one frame.
You're already there, man.
I love Phil. Fun day we had yesterday.
Fun day.
A fun day indeed, but the tour's not only over. We have one more thing we'd like to show you, right?
What's that?
We want to show you the view of walking out into the actual arena just like a player. Casey,
Yes?
this is the first time you'll ever do this and probably the last
Okay.
because you'll never be a TI champion.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. Oh, here we go.
You don't need to sing while we're making Myron back up, which is always fun.
Oh my, I can feel it.
Okay, so look at this. This is so beautiful.
Oh, the energy.
Pretend there's smoke.
Whoa.
And then you walk out and you go, oh.
Oh. You know, maybe we will be TI champions one day.
You think?
No, but maybe.
You were talking about a little something backstage about what you think the key is to this first matchup.
Absolutely. I'm very excited today to see who's not going to ban Alchemist and who's going to lose. It should be a lot of fun. Are you excited for anything today?
I am really sad because I want all 3 teams to win. And apparently that can't happen.
Well, I do know you hate one of the teams. Which one?
That's absolutely not true.
Yeah, I know you despise one of the teams.
I am going to murder you.
So sorry.
I love all of the teams.
She really does.
Hang on.
No punching, no hitting.
God, what a jerk.
Casey loves all the teams.
I like all the teams, and I like all the stories. If anyone wins, I'm going to be so happy, but I just want them all to win, and that can't happen, so.
Well, I'm a Dota player. I'm dead inside, so I definitely want to see somebody lose. I want it to be real sad. Show me that post-game interview, baby. But I do want to see somebody. I mean, that's part of playing Dota. There's 2 ways to win Dota. Kill the Ancient and then kill their self-esteem. And the best games is when you do both.
What
Techies.
is wrong with you?
It's Grand Finals Day, everybody. We're going to have a great time.
Positivity, back to you. Just ignored all the slacks. He's just
Unbelievable. Casey, I don't envy you having to try and control that crazy guy out there, but well done. You've kind of almost done it.
Is that
Amazing.
having some sort of fit?
No, that's just him. I do like his get-up today, by the way. He looks really good. Casey looks great, obviously, but Slacks looks really good today with his get-up. I like that a lot. He's kind of blending in with the background for the interview panels.
He looks like Mr. Dota too, you know,
Yeah,
red and black.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gone full red and black today, which I think is nice. I decided to, as you can probably see, I'm trying to blend in with the background. Actually, we've gone for full colours. You see the match? No, that's not bad.
Beautiful.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Very close to the
You should
same
also
color.
keep an eye out for the other hosts in our group as well, because we may have done something a bit weird today, like we all bought the same colour suits.
Crazy stuff. Bob.
I know, we're just out there, right?
Wackadoodle.
We're just wild, absolutely wild.
Oh, gee.
That was a sneak peek of a man who has the most incredible taste. I envy him, actually, because I just wouldn't be able to get away with the kind of colours that he's able to do. It's fantastic. Shiva will obviously be here a bit later on as well. Gents, we're moving towards the first series of the day. And it feels appropriate to talk about Liquid at this point in depth. 9-0, as Grant pointed out, in the lower bracket. It's been an incredible run. And you wouldn't put it past them, Cap, to go all the way now, would you?
Oh, absolutely not, especially with the combination of 9-0, the way Kuro talks about Destiny and the confidence he has that his team is going to be able to pull through. They just seem like a freight train, man. And LGD, they're in turn on the losing side of things. So I could very easily see Liquid actually just continue this 2-0 casually, head to the grand finals against OG, which is what OG said they wanted to see, right?
Yeah,
they wanted
absolutely.
to see Liquid in the grand finals. So.
Yeah, but standing in the way, Psg.lgd, they've been here before. They know how to come back from a lower bracket loss after losing to OG, because it's exactly what happened 12 months ago to the day, believe it or not, the 25th of August last year. So they know what to do. They're not going to be fazed by that, are they?
I think they're a little phased by it, because Liquid looks really scary and intimidating. They're 9-0 in the lower bracket. They're past TI champions. And for Psg.lgd, you're playing in front of this home Chinese crowd. That's, you know, a lot of support, but it's also a lot of pressure. The last Chinese hope. And I think for them, it's really a tough matchup. Whereas for Liquid, every matchup they're playing, there's less and less pressure. Kuro said in an interview, the most tense we were was that best of one.
Right.
Once we got past that, it got easier.
Yeah, they are good in that lower bracket as well, Grant. Sorry.
Yeah, and I was going to talk about LGD. Maybe this is now his 5th international in a row on the same team on LGD, which is just insane to me. You can't do it.
I mean, you see the run. You'll see that Liquid made their way through the lower bracket in just a moment. There's the upper bracket, confirming that OG are the upper bracket champions. But that doesn't win you the prize. They've still got a grand final to play. And they'll play either PSG, LGD, or Team Liquid, who have found themselves in the lower bracket finals. You can see right at the very end there. And Liquid started off that run with a 1-0 win over Fnatic. Then beat TNC, the SEA Slayers, as it were. Then knocked out a Chinese team as well, as if that wasn't nice to do in China. And then the big ones, EG and Secret, both 2-0. It's been an absolutely incredible run from Team Liquid. It also means, gents, as well, we've talked about this a lot. We talked about it last year. I think, in fact, we started talking about this at TI9, I'm pretty sure. No one's won 2 of these damn things. Like, come on now, it's got to stop this thing. I know Jake and several of the other guys talk to me. No, I want PSG to win because then it goes to TI9 and that's kind of cool. And then there's the whole, yeah, but Kuro would be the first captain to win it twice and that would be awesome. And then it's like would be the first repeat team. So there's just so many, like Casey said in the in the piece. There's something for everyone in every team. It almost doesn't matter who wins this year. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, for sure.
For us, anyway.
I mean, even just the thought of
Not the
having
players.
getting a rematch of last year's grand
Yes.
final. That's insane in itself.
Yep.
Getting a new winner, getting a repeat winner, whatever it is. LGD playing in front of their home crowd in the grand finals. That would be the most insane experience as well.
I'm going to give you something, and you can tell me whether you disagree with this. Now, one of my favourite players is FY. He's a support player. He's a god. He was one of the guys that kind of enthused me early on about Dota 2. To see him lose another final is something I can't even bear. Like he's lost 2 grand finals already. I can't bear to see him lose 3. So I either want him to lose first or get to the grand final and win.
You know, he can't bear it either.
No.
When he was asked about this, he said that, how are you going to do it, TI and everything? He said, it's all good, just not second.
No.
Just don't give me second
No,
again. He
no.
doesn't
It
want to
would
be
awful.
so close to the Aegis and fall just a little short again.
3 times. 3 times.
That would just be terrible.
Yeah.
So, hopefully he's able to make it all the way through. I know the crowd is going to be backing him hardcore, and I personally, I do kind of want to see how nuts the crowd would go if LGD wins in Shanghai.
I think
that
we
would
might
be an incredible
we might be
atmosphere
deaf.
by itself.
Yeah, we might be deafened, that's for sure. The team that we haven't spoken about, because obviously they're not playing in this first game, is OG. They're just waiting backstage, they're chilling, they're waiting for see who they play. If they play PSG, they've got it in their heads they can beat them. They've done it before, they did it last year. If it's Liquid, though, does that make it harder for OG?
I feel it does a little bit. They've kind of had their number. Like Liquid, I mean, we talked about Liquid, EG, and Secret had their number, but they overcame it. Meanwhile, OG and Liquid's kind of at OG's number, and I feel like going into this, Kuroki won't let that. Like he's like, I'm not going to get reversed on by that, and I think you are a little bit more afraid of Liquid at this point because you've seen they're just a freight train cruising on through that lower bracket.
Simultaneously, there's a lot of respect between those 2 squads. Obviously, there are a lot of friendship between them. I think one of the more interesting, everybody talks about Kuro and Puppy, but I think Kuro and No-Tail is a really interesting story between the 2, and both of them having to overcome certain adversities and be able to put together these young squads and truly lead these teams to be able to go through the international. And it really goes to show how important the captains are to Dota 2. If you ever want to talk about the greatest players of all time, I think this TI really cements it.
It does.
You can't have that conversation without the captains. The captains are pretty much everything in Dota 2.
4 of the 5 original Team Secret, Grant, are all TI winners and all captains.
Yep.
Something about
How does
that team,
happen?
wasn't it?
It really is. Like they were here from the beginning, and they just slowly grew up through Dota together. And you decide, like, wait, I want to do it myself. My legacy.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want it paired with someone else. I want to have it myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think Puppy alluded to that a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Actually, outright said Kuro wanted to take over, but he also mentioned that several players have wanted to take over at various points of his career, and that's why it's not worked out for him. He needs to have that single-mindedness and that control over his team.
It's hard to run and play as a Dota team when you have too many ideas flying around. You have 2 or 3 different people who are all co-captains and have a different direction or a different idea of what style of play you want. You really need one vision.
Yeah.
And
Do
maybe
you think that's partially? Sorry, do you think that's partially the problem with EG right now? Because they've got a lot of strength in there. They always have, haven't they? They've always built around 2 or 3 kind of captains in the team. When they had Fear and they had Peter there, and Crit obviously was then drafting. They've got Fly now as well. S4's experience. There's a lot of heads in there, which can be good.
Yeah.
But could also be damaging.
Very high Dota IQ on that team, and I would say that maybe it's a little too early to talk about it, but post-TI, when you see these teams break up, and especially when they fraction in half, right? What happens is that there is 2 different ideas about the way the game should be played. Right. There's 2 different loud voices about what's going on, and those voices just can't really meet together anymore. And that's what happens at TI, which it is such a pressure cooker that those relationships get, torn apart. And at the end of the day, 2 people are going to go their separate ways, and they're going to pull some of their teammates with them and try and forge a new path and a new idea, a unified vision about Dota. And that's what's really interesting for me is every year that it is the journey that you get a bunch of guys, you try and create a unified vision, and you finally get to TI and you say, we've got it. This is how we want to play. And then you put it through like the ultimate gauntlet.
Yeah.
That
The
idea
biggest test.
and that friendship between you, and you see whether or not that survives.
Yeah.
And Evil Geniuses, you know, because they were a new team, it survived last year and being able to get 3rd place. But this year, you know, I have my doubts just because
There might be some
I have
changes.
my doubts about honestly almost every single team who's out of the tournament already.
One of those teams are going to be is Vici, because in theory they'll look back and go, well, hold on, this is a blip. We've been playing phenomenally all season long. We've won majors, we've won minors, we've done all the impossible things that people told us we couldn't do. We've got a world-class squad, with a world-class coach. We have all the ingredients to win TI. We've finished 5th, 6th this year. That's not good enough, but that's a blip. I don't think they changed, do they?
Maybe. I mean, there's so many times where those situations, one person gets kicked.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
One person.
Yeah, we've seen
takes
that. I mean, we saw EG kick a player when they won.
Yep. And that's what happened with Liquid. Now they're in top 3. They just make one small little tweak. And it's very different in China as well. The way the scene is structured is that you can't just, bring in a new player at the end of every TI. There's this whole trading and roster shuffle process that you have to go through at the different orgs. And the Western players, it's just like, it's all players decide. We want, TI's ended. Let's go make our own shuffle.
Yeah, literally just ended at the after party.
Yeah.
Incredible. I always look forward to the after party every year, but mainly for that, because it's just fascinating watching people do trades in the same room.
It is people you wouldn't think talk to
No,
each other,
exactly,
talk to
right,
each
yeah.
other like
You see them across the room, you're like, why are they? Maybe,
God.
and that's
Can't
when the
leak
rumors
this,
start, right? Yeah, it's an incredible experience. Just quickly then, before we head into this one, it's all, I guess all the pressure right now is on Psg.lgd, Grant, as they head into this game. How do they cope with that?
I think you had a longer night, right? You got to watch who you were going to play last night, which was going to be Liquid. You watch some replays. I think you take a nice long sleep. They probably did last night. And you come into it and you do your draft. Don't focus on what Liquid's doing. You do you.
Okay. Do you agree with that? Because you've mentioned before, actually, whilst you focus on your own, you still need to remember the key bans. We talked about Alchemist, we talked about IO carry.
I think that's a simple one, just like step 1, ban Alchemist,
exactly,
good enough.
Yeah.
Ame said he's just going to ignore a lot of the crowd, and, fortunately the booth is soundproof. He's just going to focus on his own game, and hopefully the rest of LGD does the same.
Yeah. Thoughts?
I feel like LGD is such a disciplined team. They are so structured. It's like the polar opposite of what OG do. And that's good for them in this scenario because, it's very much just like follow our training regimen. We've played the same way throughout the entire year. They're going to go into it. They approach Dota like a science. Whereas OG, they approach Dota like an art. And it's a complete different approach, and it's what works for LGD, and it's what allowed them last year to bounce back from losing the winner bracket final, come back, win, and still get to the grand finals. Yeah, they lost it, but that loss didn't defeat them. We saw so many teams drop down from winner bracket to lower bracket and instantly lose and fall apart. That wasn't the case last year with LGD.
Why, though?
I mean, I think it's having a good coach, having a good system.
It's everything.
It's everything. It's just training, playing together as a team. They have a lot of belief, and yes, they're going to be nervous. They're going to have a lot of pressure from the crowd, but they're also going to have the crowd behind them.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on. We're still waiting for the start of the game, of course, and waiting for our players to join us here in the arena. But there's a lot of stress backstage, a lot of stress everywhere when you come to TI as a player. So what better way to relax than a meeting with Casey?
Hi. Okay, I'm gonna practice my Mandarin on you.
Okay.
Okay.
Test.
你好，
你好。
你好吗？
Fine. I'm good.
马马虎虎。
马马虎虎 Yes. 马马虎虎。
我叫 Casey，你呢？
徐林森。
是。
徐。
是。
徐。徐。哎。
So my first question for you, you've been doing this a long time. How do you deal with stress?
一般是抽根烟吧，然后让自己冷静一下。
Now you know that smoking's bad for you, right?
Yes, it's bad.
I used to smoke, and look at me now.
我现在看不到。
That's a fair point. How do you feel about TI coming to Shanghai and being in China for the first time?
对我来说，应该算是一种很好的体验吧，就是可以在自己的主场，然后有很多本地粉丝为你加油， 然后最重要的是，不用去坐飞机了。我感觉今年和去年我是一直在飞机上，没有下来过。
You are definitely one of the veteran Dota players that everyone looks up to. Are you ever tempted to retire and move on the way others have?
考虑过，然后可能会考虑做教练或者解说吧。当然，我内心我还是觉得我可以打到天荒地老的，就是应该还可以打个3至5年吧，以我目前的状态。
I have a 1.5-year-old daughter. I understand that you have 2 kids yourself. What is it like being a dad?
我的儿子女儿天下第一可爱吧，然后我特别喜欢他们。儿子2岁，女儿1岁。
Do you have any parenting advice? Because my daughter is throwing tantrums a lot.
说实话，我也给不出什么特别好的意见，我只是陪他们玩吧。
Can you teach me something that I can say in Mandarin that's a good way to flame people in game?
别送了。
别送了。
Yes，快跑。
快跑。
快跑，别送了。
快跑，别送了。
你退吧。
你退。
你退
吧。
You quit, please.
Oh, is that what that means? Or are you asking us to quit now? Thank you for doing this. 谢谢。
不客气。
Fantastic, good stuff, Casey, with FY God, as we call him in Dota 2. How well has he played Cat this tournament? Has he been ye old faithful, steady hand guiding the ship?
Yeah, he's been doing pretty well for himself, and I like his estimation of what he said. Another 3 years? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
3 to 5 years.
Yeah. Which would make him one of the oldest Dota 2 pros. I don't want to get into the whole, when are you too old to play? Because I don't think you're ever too old to play Dota. And even at the highest level, you know, I'm sure Fear has made this point many times. I don't need to labour on it. He also said in there as well, and I think I looked at Kyle, and Kyle looked at me, and we both went, yep. He said, I feel like I went up in the air 2 years ago and never came back down. I think collectively here, we can all feel like that, right?
Yeah.
We all travelled a lot. Yeah, you all kind of look at me going, what? We all travel a lot. You know, never feels like you come back down out of the airplane. Probably more so for him being out in China and obviously having to fly to a lot of European events.
And having to train nonstop. Like even between events, you're always training and stuff. So it's I think it has something about the interviews and stuff where they're talking about like being able to have kids and stuff and having that grounding. I think having any kind of grounding, whether it's on our side or the player's side, really helps you just kind of get through the harsher parts of your job, and I'm sure that training aspect is one of those harsher moments.
It's crazy we're kind of talking about FY as one of the really long-time veterans, because he, for me, is like, I feel like I only watched him play his first TI a few years ago. I think it was TI4 with VG Gaming, where he had his first TI, and he was a new youngster. He came in with like Sumail and Arteezy. He was that generation of players. So he's not one of the old school players.
No, absolutely.
He came in as one of like these new young superstars. He's still fairly young, but he's grown up very quickly. You know, he's a father now. He's a veteran. He is one of the people that Psg.lgd look to when times get tough.
Yeah, he's definitely the rock, isn't he? He has a good game, solid game. He's guiding the troops. You feel like they're still on the straight and narrow. Another member of the team, though, Grant, Arme, has the least amount of deaths of any player at this tournament.
Which is impressive. And I can tell you, coming from NA, when you go and ask an NA player who they look up to, like almost every carry player is going to say Ame. It's like Ame and Monet, and Ame is always the one, and they're just like, he's just good. Like, he never does anything bad, which is a pretty high praise from an NA person.
Little things like, just being able to read the map and knowing that you don't have to go for that extra creep to be able to play safe. That's why he's able to have such low deaths. A lot of it does come from his teammates as well. He plays well around his team. They create a lot of space for him, Chalice, and maybe do that to Spades. I do want to go back to FY, though. At what point are we going to stop calling, like, the Prince? You know, that was kind of his moniker, right? At what point does he become the king, right? Because
I agree.
The king is retired.
Yeah,
right?
He's casting here.
Yeah, he's casting. He can't be the king anymore. So maybe FY is the new king.
Maybe if you get this win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the
All
win.
right.
Maybe.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That
If-
can be your coronation ceremony.
Yes, if he's a TI winner, then he's the king, and then I don't know where Sumail fits in. Maybe they're they have to battle for the kingdom. I don't know. Maybe they're masters of different kingdoms. I don't know. but he's the king right now, so I think he'll be mildly offended if that title gets taken away from him. The other one is obviously maybe Somnus. We don't talk about it as much these days, I guess, but what an explosive player still. He's still got it.
Yeah, he's their franchise player. He's the one they've kind of built this team around, and they're kind of the exception. You look at other Western teams, it's let's build around our captain. These are the key piece for Psg.lgd. It was Somnus, it was Maybe. They brought in some great leadership around him, which is where FY came in, but he is still one of the scariest mid players to go up against. He's got a big hero pool. He just consistently performs. I don't feel like you see him have bad games often at all.
Yeah, and 5 years on the same team. 5 years on the same team is unheard of.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, do you guys feel like these star mid players don't have that overwhelming controlling aspect of the game that they used to anymore?
That's true, but I think that's similar with all 3 of the teams left. Like it's like that Sumail and no one factor where it's like, oh, could this guy just crush his mid lane and win the game? It's not like a necessary ingredient for these championship teams like it maybe used to be.
Yeah, I think that's like an important part to talk about Dota 2 anymore. Is that star power? It is still important. It's still important to be able to have the Rock, who's going to be able to carry the game, who can take over. But more often than not, everybody has that star player now, and everybody has brought up their game fast enough. Nobody's doing something like so exceptional in the mid lane that they're not doing anything mechanically that other people aren't doing. In many ways, right?
The gap is closed, isn't it, between the top players? It's much narrower. I do want to bring out one of the players that's left in the tournament, which is Thompson, because he is, if there's an outlier, surely he is the outlier, because he's doing some really strange stuff in comparison to the other guys.
Yeah, it feels like he's one of the only few playing. Like, we had a few other players in terms of like Chris Luck playing these, I'm just going to run around the map. I'm going to do crazy stuff. My team doesn't mind if I make mistakes. That's always the biggest thing with OG. Like, they're okay. Like, you make a mistake, you're not going to have like a team like, can't believe he just did that. Like, the fact Thompson can get away with making these over extensions, these plays, even if he fails, his team has his back. And I think that helps your mentality a ton as a mid player.
Yeah. Also, his hero pool is very diverse as well.
Yeah, he may not be the scariest, most mechanically sound player in OG, but he's the most unique and most innovative. Like, how do you prepare or play against this guy? Because he's going to do some completely bizarre build or have some unique style of play that no one understands except Thompson. His own team, I don't think, understands half
his own team have said to me, we have no idea what he's doing sometimes.
It's crazy, and it's so good when you have that chaos factor when your team just trusts you. If your team didn't believe and trust him, that'd be a problem. But the fact they're willing for Thompson to go do his thing.
While we're on the subject of players, just while we're waiting for the game to start, there's been a number of standout performances all the way through. I want to bring up Crystallize. For Na'Vi, I know they got knocked out very early in effect. They went on a really bad spree at the end of the group stage, and it just kind of extended into the main event. But he and Magical in particular in that team have stood out at this event. They've had some really good games.
Yeah, Na'Vi were, I think, a solid surprise at this TI. Unfortunately, finishing bottom 4 of the main event is not where they want to be, but they had a decent year all around, taking wins here and there off of VP. They 2-0'd them here during the group stage. For me, Na'Vi have a bright future ahead of them. Great core players. I don't think they're a team I don't think needs to make too many big changes.
I was going to say, don't go heavy. Alliance would probably be on the other side of that as well, wouldn't they? Would they want to stay together? They have some bright futures.
God, I hope so. I don't want to see that team split up.
Well, is their biggest problem not that they don't want to stay together? The biggest problem is that probably a couple of their players could get poached by bigger teams. Is that one of the issues?
Oh, I have no doubt that Mickey he's going to receive offers after this tournament and probably already has had some offers. I think he's just a fantastic player. And again, he's doing it in a role that is not actually his original position in the first place, which says a lot about him as a player. The attitude of some of the teammates, man. Mickey and Boxy, when we had that
they were fantastic.
Misclick, being able to try and solve that sort of
they were all in,
mistake
weren't they? They were like, okay, how do we fix it? It's move on. How do we fix it? How do we make the best of that now?
That's exactly the kind of mentality you want from a player, right? I want that guy on my team. When I screw up, I want him to be able to try and positively figure out a way to get us the W.
Yeah, and I think we talk about we don't want to see him break up. Alliance has been together for a while, though. If you're not going to produce the results right, eventually there is going to have to be a change or something, right? Because they've been together forever, and it doesn't feel like they've really. Maybe they have peaked, maybe they haven't. It's tough.
I think it comes down to like what players are available. If there's a big star player you can pick up, they may consider something.
Just go for it, right? Sometimes you have to. You don't want to see them change, but eventually, if you're not winning, you have to.
These teams aren't happy settling for just like a, maybe our peak is a top 8. They want more than that.
Yeah, definitely more than that. Of the other teams, I think we talked about Newbie during the group stage. That exceeded expectations, but it also took an awful lot out of them, Cap, didn't it?
Snake King's still got it for sure. I don't know if that newbie roster is going to be able to, like, they already weathered through last year's storm, swapping out like a captain, bringing in Pylai Dai. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that for a second TI, but there's definitely some high value players there, and I'm sure we're going to see some fun NA Dota powerhouses coming of that. Another team
what are you forming, Grant?
Yeah.
What teams are you forming?
Oh, you know, just I don't even know. There are so many players, right, with after, you know, the disappointment of EG and Newbie as well, because both of them expected, I'm sure, to at least be top 4, and it didn't quite happen. So, you know what? You just shuffle them in.
Give me your dream team. Give me your NA Dota dream team.
Right now.
Okay, we'll do it, but I want a promise from you. I want, when you get home, I want to stream for 2 hours. It's just Grant going off about NA players and who they should form and which alliances they should have and what the team should look like.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah?
Is it finally BSJ's year, Grant?
It's finally BSJ Kyle. We got it, baby.
Yes.
He finally doesn't turn Kyle down.
Do your dream team NA? No restrictions. Doesn't matter what team they play for now, whether they play for a big team or not, or maybe you want to take a pub stub. 5 dream team NA team.
I was just going to say, I'm
probably
right here, Grant.
Number 1, I probably got to stick with Arteezy, I think, and then in the 2 role, Sumail. I know a lot of people, you want to break them
you're
up.
basically
Everyone
building EG at this
so
point,
far.
Grant.
But then on the 3, you know, I probably would switch over to Snake King. I think, you know, if you have other cores who are willing to have a loud voice, because Snake King has a very, very loud voice. And I think if you have players he really, really looks up to, he might back down a little bit, which would be nice. And then in the 4 role, it's tough for me. I know you said NA, but I would stick with Crit. I know it's EG, but I really do like Crit. On 5, SVG. He's coming out of retirement.
Oh, come on. I thought you were going with PPD.
PPD?
Where's PPD, Grant?
No love for Peter. I mean, what's going on?
He's
right?
trying to take player personalities into mind. You know?
I mean, it is
PPD
true, right?
and Sumail playing together. That's a disaster. We
man.
can't do it.
So he basically just rebuilt EG, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
With a sprinkle of Snake King and SVG coming back.
Grant, this is not the invention I was looking for.
Oh,
I thought
God.
I might get some crazy pub star that you've been watching. I mean, because there are a couple out there, Cap. We've been talking in the green room. Some potentials out there.
I mean, even in your role, right? I think a lot of people are looking at Lukey. I mean, he doesn't have the most diverse hero pool. All right, who are you thinking of then?
No, I'm down with Lukey.
Okay.
He's only been playing for Dota for a short amount of time, and that's why he has a limited hero pool. Going back to some of the players here at this tournament, I want to point to somebody who basically was a pub star before this, Nico Baby, right, from Mineski. I think he showed a fantastic tournament. I think he's going to be a high-value pickup for anybody next year, just maybe a little bit more experience. That last series where they played against Secret, Nico Baby was not flawless, but again, I'm sure he learned from that entire experience, and Secret's like one hell of a team. What a different tournament it would have been if Mineski could have closed out that series, but closed out that game 1 even.
Yeah, who knows how that lower bracket would have looked. While on the subject of China in particular, I know that we've come out here a number of times. Have any of you learned Mandarin? Picked up any words along the way? Rude or otherwise?
I haven't picked up any. I've tried to, because I'm one of those guys, I like saying thank you to everyone, and even then, I don't want to mispronounce it, though, so I'm always just like, thank you, and usually I give them the wave, and they always give me the wave back, so.
Yeah, that's the problem I had with Jack, Barbecue Jack, because he always, I was saying some words, and he was like, you need to be careful your pronunciation.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
The difference can be quite substantial, even though I was like, oh, and it's made me paranoid now. I don't even want to say hello anymore.
I'm not going to lie, I tried to memorize it, but I might have lost it.
Really?
But the Ni Chua Ba, something like that.
Oh, is that the please quit or whatever?
Yeah.
That's the important one.
You should quit.
Okay. I will.
Take that to your NA, back to your NA pubs.
All right. Well, I mean, our Mandarin's not particularly good here on the panel, but I know someone who's had some training in this particular language. Let's find out how Casey and Slack's got them.
Here we go.
Numbers.
Yeah. Follow me. Say 一
Yi.
二
Chen Lao Shui. Chen Lao Shui. R.
Oh my God! You cannot call me 陈老师 R. Do you know
What?
R? What does that mean in Chinese?
No. What?
Oh my God! What did you do?
I don't know what I said.
Oh, that's very fun. If you call somebody R, the meaning is stupid.
Well, that is useful.
No. We're only 5 minutes in, and you've already managed to insult the one person who can help us speak Mandarin.
1、2、3，
1、2、3、
4、
4、
5、
5、
6、6、6、
6、6、6、
6、6、6、
6、6、6、
7、7、7、7、7、7。 很好，很好，very good，很好。
Hey guys, we're gonna hold on for a
666
second. We have a little audio issue.
Okay.
Cutting for a second.
No, it's a real class, and then we're gonna actually we're trying to show people that.
Oh, now I look kind of like an asshole because I am bringing materials. It's disrespectful.
Yes, it is.
Listen, I didn't know. I didn't know it was a real class. I'm sorry. Can I have some pieces of paper?
I don't have very many pieces left.
You can spare one slice.
I can't possibly spare a square. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, I found one.
You have a pen?
Pop quiz. Quiz. I will give you number. You need to quickly react.
Quickly?
And ding, okay?
Oh, God.
Who ding first? Who say and get money, okay? Ready?
Yes.
好了吗? Say 好了.
好了.
好了, ready?
好了.
好了. Yeah.
我.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Very good.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. I didn't get the first money.
That's not true.
Why did you get money?
I won.
9、10、8。
Wow. 5块.
5块.
Yeah, correct. 5块. You pretend very angry because the tone go down.
不.
Boo. Yeah, very standard pronunciation.
好，不。
多少钱？多少钱？多少钱？
多少钱？多少钱？多少钱？
太贵了，太贵了，便宜点儿。
太贵了，太贵了，便宜点儿。
Welcome to my shop. 80块，便宜便宜。
太贵了，太贵了，便宜点儿。
3块。
不可能。不。
哪里要3块
？10块，10块。
10块。
3块，10块。10块。
Is my friend bothering you?
Ready?
Yeah.
It's a real dance now.
I'm
Any
good.
part.
I'm good on the
Okay.
dancing.
左边，左边，右边，右边，前边，前边。
你好。
You guys really did good job. I'm so proud of you guys. Now I believe you have the ability to go outside, go to a real world, go to China to talk to the native speakers.
谢谢老师。
Congratulations!
再
I'm so
见。
proud of you
蒙
guys.
迪，
再见，谢谢。
再见，
再见，再见。
So Vicky was our teacher and was my teacher for a few months. So I want to thank her because she was amazing, came up with all of those lessons. And, you know, it's the international, so we're trying to make it about, you know, combining all of our energies. But you've been kind of mean to me today.
Well, I'm sorry, Casey. I like to get you excited and do a little ribbon, but to be honest with you, my heart's starting to become heavy. And watching that piece, we worked so hard, and we've been waiting to come to China for so long, and this event's just been magical and wonderful. And Casey, I am sure going to miss you when it's over. We never get a chance to say goodbye to each other, so I can't wait till this game happens in this series, and I'm having the time of my life with you.
Are you okay?
I'm doing great, Casey. But I used to not like you so much, so let's go and shoot over to some outtakes.
So 4, yeah, 4 is bad number. Bad number.
Yes.
2, stupid. 4, die.
Our Casey Sue.
Oh my God.
Stupid Casey died. Thank you so much. Don't use.
I didn't write the notes.
Then what have you been doing with these notes? He literally wrote down our Casey. That's literally all he wrote. Was our Casey. 你好。
你好，你好吗？
我不好，你呢？
我不好。你呢？
What?
Yo, ask me.
I just did.
Whoa, 很好。 Yep, so we learned some good languages, and I gotta tell you, many people don't know this, but the International really is an international broadcast. Over 37 languages are served at this one event, and you're only gonna get that in esports. Everybody loves all their little sports, my football, my soccer. No, Esports goes to all languages worldwide. We're the future. Your days are coming, old men. Real traditional sports is dying.
Why don't you go take a nap?
All right.
All right, so we wanted to show you all the broadcasts because obviously you're watching the English broadcast right now, but take a look behind us. We have a couple of the different panels. So this is the Chinese broadcast. You can see Jack is chatting with the panelists right now for the Chinese stream, which is super cool. And then if you go to the next pod over, this is the Russian broadcast. So you'll see that this looks very similar to our lovely English casters that we've been seeing. So this is the Russian broadcast. And then, come on, Slacks, hurry up, man. All right, we're gonna come over here. So here's our panel. Hey guys, what's up?
Hi.
Hey.
Be careful of Rich.
Yeah, please stay away from me.
He's
what's wrong
really
with Rich?
excited about the camera coming over.
I was going to do a split.
What?
Do it, Rich!
Wow. Perfect form.
See, you've caught us at a weird point, right? Because you know when you're on camera, that's the kind of stuff we're doing over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the whole
we're just
time?
we're just enjoying ourselves. Rich is doing splits and dances and all crazy.
And
That's
I gotta
what we
hang
do.
out with this asshole?
Yeah, and you get him.
Yeah. Are you gonna do the splits next, Paul?
I can do the splits.
Go ahead.
Let's go.
Oh
Jake,
my God.
Jake, Jake, Jake,
Jake.
Yay!
All right, now do the worm. Do the worm.
My turn.
Oh, wait, no, that's a leather dress. Don't do it.
Oh my God.
Look at those legs. How is that possible?
Are you
She's
okay?
bumpy.
Good?
Wow. Dive.
Incredible.
Guys, get off our set.
All right,
Richard's
sorry.
man. You're spoiling things.
Wait,
over here.
I've always wanted to do this. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Back to you, Paul.
Amazing throw. Jake, thank you so much.
We're blessed.
It's crazy. We are blessed, aren't we? I love those guys. I really do. It was. I have to tell you this story from yesterday. I had dinner with Slacks last night. And you may have heard yesterday, he was a bit croaky. Right? He had a bit of a sore throat and he's feeling a bit unwell. And I wasn't, look at this. Oh my goodness.
God damn.
That's unbelievable, Casey. How do your bones bend that way? I don't, that's incredible. Thank you for the replay. Yeah, so we're having dinner and he's literally gone completely, right? And so I'm sat there and I said to him, so you can't speak? And he's like, like, this is a dream come true. I get to have dinner with you in silence for a change. And he's just like, and you can't hear anything. It was amazing. I had a great dinner with Slacks last night.
So he saved it all for today.
Yeah. No, he's back to normal today. It seems like so. It's good to have him better, as it were. Great stuff from both of those. It wouldn't be TI without those two anymore, would it?
No.
100% it would. There's no way. I mean, right? Slacks came to his first TI, I believe. Was it TI? I think it was TI4. He came by himself. He was just doing these garbage, like just absolutely awful interviews, doing stuff like that.
Sneaking past security.
Yep. I have a badge just running by him, and now guess what? He's here. He's the man of the hour. Like he is. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's fantastic. It's great suit today as well. Let's talk more about plans. We were talking about that before the break in terms of players out there who've done well. We've got some statistics actually to share with you right now. This is the kill leaders board for TI9. So in order of how many kills they've got, so it doesn't take into account how many games, but look how close this is between these five players. Miracle 224. Anna 224, Samael 223, can't get any more sadly. We 215 can definitely catch up, and Thompson 204. That's insane how close those are.
Especially it's right. Both cores on both teams is just mind-blowing. That means those supports, they're really struggling to get kills. But like Thompson and Anna, they're like, yes, give them to us. And I mean, it's a big part of their strategy as well.
Yeah.
That's crazy, those kills.
OG literally serves up kills on a silver platter.
Well, I'm glad you said that because we also have the assist leaders as well. So this will be interesting to check out. Kuro with 402 is just ahead of Yapsor on 401. Microtrol 382, Fly 381 and Puppy 380. It's equally as close between the top 5 assist guys as well, and similar teams too.
Yeah, it is. And Mind Control, right? He's the only core player on there. You don't really think about a core player and you think of assists, but he's playing these heroes now, even just like Darkseer, right? And it's like, oh, we're just going to get assists because I don't really get kills, but here you guys go.
Absolutely. Top 5 average GPM per game is also This one is a bit weird because there's some elk
played
games
the most
here.
elk.
Yeah, there is some elk. There are some elk. It should have a star at the bottom. There are elk games. Crystallized 704 would be a single record for an entire TI, by the way. Average GPM, which he can't get any higher or lower because he's finished, obviously. So it's an incredible achievement from Crystallized. In his first ever TI as well. Army 693.9, he's up there as well. Hector's had a fabulous tournament. He's been probably my favourite player to watch. Yuar, likewise, had an incredible group stage. He was top of this board back then. And Nisha has also played exceptionally well. I mean, a lot of that, as you say, is slightly skewed because of the elk stuff and, yeah, whatever. But still impressive stats from some of these guys. And it shows us, doesn't it, just how well some of these youngsters have played.
Yeah, I mean, especially a guy like Hector. Everyone's talking about him, what he's doing. He's not playing a lot of elk. He's just...
Yeah.
Efficient.
Yeah, he's efficient.
Well,
he's kind of reinventing how to farm a bit.
Well, he's playing Elk Light. That's what ranking
Elk
is right
Junior.
now. That's what Elk is.
Okay.
You know, you pick up a Midas, you pick up a Radiance, you throw skeletons all over the map. You're basically Alchemist Light. All I'm saying is I don't want Hector to be like the visionary that every carry's gonna go to now. I don't want to see my carries TPing from a tier 2 tower to a shrine just to, get farmed 5 seconds faster. Because, then no one's gonna have a TP and that's gonna be a terrible meta.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Hector by himself, sick player.
Yeah, I mean, when Samal says the kid's a beast, then you got to take notice.
Even
right?
Puppy in his exit interview said his name. He's like, Hector. Like, you get said by name by a player like Puppy, and you have to feel pretty good about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. We should bring in our draft panel and check in with them just to say hi more than anything else, because I know you guys have been over there. Good morning.
How you doing, Paul?
Properly good morning. You seem to be very well warmed up, sir.
I am pretty excited for the entire day. I think a lot of the things you started to bring up, you just look at this TI, so much history has already been made. Like, you look at what's happened for regions as a whole and people just setting the bar higher and higher over and over again. I'm excited to see what the final storyline is.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great. I am still a little bit awestruck by the splits and
I know, right? These bendy people.
Yeah, I was excited for the Dota today, and I also got that. But I just think it's crazy that the teams, it feels like we kind of doubted. We were wondering how we expected them to do better in the group stage, and yet, or at the start of the bracket, and yet they're all back here. And like teams like Liquid, it seems like the best players this year truly have made it to the final 3, and I'm just so excited to see the best Dota in the world.
It feels like the top 6 were, in some order, the top 6 that most people would expect, right? It's just consistent results throughout the year. And what a surprise, they all show up at TI2.
It's true, actually. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. Group stages don't always transfer.
No.
To, we finished top of our group, we'll win the whole... It doesn't work like that normally, does it?
Yeah, there's some great memes about Kuro in the groups versus Kuro in the lower bracket.
Yes.
I think they're excellent. And
do you want to give the line, or...?
What is the line?
Do you know the line?
I think that's Rich's take.
Yeah, it probably is actually Rich's take. You know the line, Rich?
Wait, I don't know this meme.
Oh.
That's probably the biggest oversight
right.
of this draft.
See, we trusted him. We brought him into the circle.
The biggest oversight.
Yeah, this was the TI7 lower bracket run when the meme came out about what the upper brackets for something else.
Oh,
I can't say the word. See, I was trying to tempt
connected.
him into saying the word, but he can't say the word.
I still have no idea where you're going.
Oh, really? Okay.
Lower
it's
bracket is for bitches.
No, it's
upper bracket.
It's
upper bracket.
My bad.
Upper bracket. Yeah, I was trying to tempt Kyle into it, but it's fine, Grant. You saved us. It's all good. Thank you, gents. Obviously, we'll come back to you for the start of the draft.
Only Grant could take that line and he would say it, but he would mess it up. God damn, I love you, Grant.
It's fine, Grant. Someone clip that and put it on Reddit immediately.
Oh, please don't.
Don't worry, Bob already heard.
We're having fun. And we're obviously moving towards our first series of the day. If you're just joining us, welcome to the International 2019. We're having a bit of fun at the start of our final day, just reminiscing a little bit about the tournament itself, recapping some of the things that have already happened. It's been a magical tournament after all, and some real highlights and records set by players and teams alike. So I do want to go back into the group stages a little bit and just, talk about it, because it was such a phenomenal group stage. It was, I think, and I know a number of people think it was the best group stage we've ever had.
It was so competitive. There was no free games or free wins. I feel like past group stages, when we moved to this 18-team format, there was a couple of teams who would have, the 0 wins. You had Fnatic if you go back a couple of years, and there was also Hellraisers who had 1 win.
Yeah.
This year, I mean, the bottom teams, NIP and Chaos, you've got a TI winner on both teams competing, finishing last in their groups. That's how tough this group stage was. I don't think anybody expected NIP. A lot of people had them in like top 8 at this tournament to be getting eliminated in groups.
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Winter, our friend Winter as well, from the terrible MUFC days. We don't talk about that one. A bit of a rough time. But you're right. I mean, it's such a competitive groups.
Anybody expected NIP. A lot of people had them in like top 8.
It's like as a caster, when you're going through this group stage, whenever you get a really hyped game, you're like, oh, damn. And you go out of the booth and, you go to the common area and you're talking to other people and you're like, oh, did you see that game? And you're expecting everybody to be talking about this hype game that you just casted. But you go there and they're talking about like 2 other games that have just happened. You're like, wait, what did I miss?
Yeah. What happened in the other game?
I had the hype game, but no, it turns out, and it was like that constantly. It felt like there was always some insane, like some mega creep. I casted a mega creep come out, somebody else.
It was
you
also
see
one
that
at the
mega
same
creep
time.
come out? I was like, yeah, I was casting it. And then they say, no, the one was, I was like, oh.
Not mine.
That wasn't me. No, I had the other one.
Yeah, absolutely. These are the group stage notes. 110 heroes played during the group stage. There was 95 played on day 1. And just to recap, we've had every single hero or band through the tournament. Only 3 heroes now remain unplayed and complete. 144 games, the longest being 86 minutes and 29 between Chaos and TNC. Shortest game, 15 minutes and 8, and an average of 49.63 kills per game. It's just, I mean, just those stats alone, Grant, kind of make you go, holy crap, what went on in that group stage?
Dude, that's a lot of kills.
It
Almost
was
50, and then that shortest game. I know a lot of compendium people at home are like, oh,
we were like,
thank
please
you.
go past
Yes, not
15.
Yep, and then they did it and GG'd out.
Yeah.
But and that long game, that Chaos versus TNC game was so fun to watch. It wasn't even just they're just on different sides of the map. They were fighting constantly, and then, buyback, and like, okay, we'll wait again and do it. And they did it like 5 times over and over.
Yeah, there's been a few games like that. I always feel sometimes that there is an inevitability about who's going to win those longer games, but that isn't the way it is this year, it seems. It seems the meta's shifted a little bit, and it still could go one mistake, and it could cost you the entire game.
Absolutely. I think there's one team who did have that inevitability, which was Secret. Whenever they were behind, you're like, is Secret really behind? Are they? They won some games. Like, look at the Mineski series where it's like, come on, surely Secret's going to lose this one. It's the same in the group stage. They had multiple mega creeps come back against Alliance and then also against Newbie. But it wasn't just, Secret coming back. It was any of the teams, some of the teams you didn't expect who are turning around huge deficits.
Yeah, I remember back EG versus Eheim. I think it was TI6 with the Mega Creep comeback, which was an insane. It's one of my favorite games I've ever seen, partly because of the way that it happened just in the middle of the arena. But it seems now Mega Creep comebacks are, I wouldn't say more prevalent, but they are slightly easier now. You can do something if you react quickly to it.
There's a lot of things about that. I think that teams are a little bit better about how they come back against Mega Creeps. Again, I want to reference the Secret Mineski one. One thing that Secret did really smart was they actually stalled out the barracks. They knew they were going to lose Megas, but they didn't just go, okay, we have to play against Megas. They actually stalled out, waiting that last like 10 seconds till, I don't remember who, but somebody was going to come back alive. They initiate on this Alchemist, slow him down, hex him up. He has to recommit to the barracks, and as a result, just that little bit of stall out turns into a team fight. That team fight turns into Mineski almost getting wiped, and Secret able just to march down mid. There's a lot of situations like that. But there's also late game factors as well, Aghanim Scepters and Moon Shards you can always go farther. You can always, you never feel like a hero is capped out like he used to.
Yeah, it's true. Grant, what have you made of this entire tournament?
Man, it's been nuts. I got to cast the first carry IO game, right? I saw that. I'm like, oh my goodness, we are going to see this a ton this turn. We have. I thought maybe it would just be Ana, but we've seen Nisha play it, multiple others, and then I'm surprised. We're not seeing these late game team fighters going through like in these last 3 teams. Right? I thought Secret was going to be like, oh, Earthshaker, Enigma. We don't care about fighting from behind. That's what we like to do best. And instead, they let the out through, and here we are now.
Yeah. Cap?
It's been a fantastic tournament. I felt, I always look back to TI6 when I was so sure that somebody was going to actually take the Aegis the next year 2 times in a row, but it still hasn't happened. Maybe it'll happen this year. Maybe we'll go to TI10. Dude, that's insane.
It is.
It's absolutely insane. Yeah. We could have 10 years of the International without a world champ being crowned twice.
I think especially crazy when you consider it is mostly the same players who come back year after year. It's not like every TI there's like half the teams are new teams. It's 80%, 70% of the players who played a TI before. There's normally like only a handful of TI newcomers, maybe 10 or 15. I don't know if you know how many there are this year, but there's.
Well, I think there's 22 this year.
Okay, 22.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
that's
a fair amount.
That's like 4 teams out of 8 teams
Yeah,
worth. It's just crazy. It's never happened before. 9 years of TI.
Yeah, and it feels like we do talk about it every year and think, it must end this year.
Yeah.
And it feels like we've done that for 5 years too. So, yeah, who knows? I think it's probably the greatest chance we've got this year because of the 15 players we've got left, 9 have won TI. So the odds are in our favour this year of a new champion. 10 have actually played in a TI final. If we get Liquid versus OG, all 10 players have played in a grand final before at TI. So that would be interesting. But likewise, LGD are the only team that haven't won it before out of the 3 that are left. And they've got 5 players who've never won it before, which means that it's their chance to win it this year because that's the way the gods work, isn't it? Isn't that how Ice Frog dictates who wins TI?
Seems so far, yeah. It's LGD's destiny maybe, but there's a crazy amount of experience with these 3 teams.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter who gets to the final now. You know, there's experience from all 3 sets of teams. You know, they've all been there. They all know what they're doing. All 15 players have played in a TI final. So, you know, because people go, hold on, but there's Weeha. Yeah, he also played in a grand final.
Chaos.
Yeah,
Digital Chaos.
The original Cinderellas, as it were.
Exactly.
Before OG went one further and won the whole thing. So, yeah, plenty of experience in that final. I don't think nerves are necessarily going to be an issue, Grant, are they, at this stage?
I think there's always going to be nerves, and honestly, for Psg.lgd, I feel like there might be a little more nerves because you talk about the crowd's going to be backing you, but in the back of your head, you're like, we can't let the crowd down. Like, we cannot let. We are the home team. We just can't let him down. And I'm sure that's creeping in the back of their head. Like, you lose one game, and you're like, oh my goodness, this isn't good.
That's why Ame said he's gonna try not to care about the crowd. He's just gonna sit there in his soundproof booth. He's not gonna give in to all the hype that's behind them too much. And I think that's also why for the Chinese teams, it is important to be able to have a coach that takes the blame. We talked a lot about ROTK, but 357 does the same. The old bald man, as they call him. Apparently,
that's
harsh, man. China's harsh, but that he's just going to be the lightning rod for a lot of that, and hopefully he will soak it up for his players, and they'll perform better as a result.
All right, okay. You're probably wondering, while we're chit-chatting away regarding the start of the day, it has been a long day already, I guess, for you guys. I know that you're up late wherever you are in the world, and maybe some of you got up early. Thank you for tuning in. And we apologize for the delay. Unfortunately, we are suffering for some technical problems right now, which we are working hard to get fixed. Obviously, I'm not working hard to get them fixed. I don't do that kind of stuff, but some people are working very hard to get them fixed. And as soon as we've got any more news for you, we will let you know. But stay tuned. This is the International 2019. Okay, welcome back to the International 2019. We've had some issues. I'm glad to say they've been fixed. Thank you so much, gents.
I'm not going to try to explain the whole situation to you, Paulie.
It's fine.
Yeah, sometimes the F4 wiring, it's a very complicated thing, and let's just say it's not very conductive to conductivity.
Okay, but we're all good to go, though, Rich.
Yeah, we're fine.
Everything's fine.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks,
No problem.
Rich. You guys do a service to Dota 2 and to the community. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel like I've seen a fair number of handymen or plumbers or electricians.
I know how that movie ends.
I'm just glad
I've
you
seen a lot
guys
of
were
them
here.
online that look just like Rich. Same mustache.
Yeah. I think, Rich, I've now realized where I've seen that look before. It's Armageddon.
Armageddon.
You look like Bruce Willis from Armageddon.
That wasn't the video I was referencing.
Oh, we're on very different websites. Yeah, we're on very different websites. We're streaming different things.
All right. Well, whilst we're on that, let's move away from that and do a very quick preview. If you've just joined us, sorry for the delay. We are almost ready to get underway and welcome our teams to the arena. Back with that panel once more. Thanks to Kyle and Rich for fixing things. Let's look ahead. Excitement for the start of the day, obviously, and then we've got this first matchup between PSG and Liquid. It's going to be a doozy.
I am looking forward to see what the crowd is like today. Psg.lgd playing in an elimination match. Going to be fighting for survival against Liquid. That is going to be insane inside the arena.
Yeah, actually, when you look out right now, the corners are filled as well, which might sound a bit weird to say that, but actually you can't really see the screen very well, which is why they don't generally sit there. Today they've got to.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be loud. Yesterday when they were playing, it was the loudest thing. I was sitting right out here still in the panel when it's happening, and I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear the casters that are on the main screen. It was crazy, and I expect to be more of the same.
Yep, absolutely. Teams obviously had to adjust this morning. They've got them psychologically. They're ready to go, and then they have to stop and then have to restart. What's that doing to them backstage right now? They've only got a couple of minutes before they come out.
I'm sure Kuro's already given a number of speeches to his team and then a break, and then he's like, all right, we're getting back into it, another speech. But, hopefully everyone's ready to go. I know I've been real anxious to watch some Dota.
Absolutely, between these two teams as well. PSG, the nerves are going to start coming